How many thousands of times do I have to be right? Tell me, how many fucking times? 700 videos of me being consistently right about everything that goes on in the world. From my predictions, from my takes on things, from the way I describe when I compare the past to the present and the future. How many times do I have to fucking be right? 2020 sucks, right? 2020 is the fucking worst. I mean, it's not like Matt's FTR has been telling everybody that as time goes on, every year gets worse and worse and worse and worse. It's not like I've proved that, so instead, be surprised that 2020 is literally our worst year ever. Be surprised by it. You could have prepared yourself, like I have, for society getting worse and worse and worse. You could have prepared yourself for these things if you'd only listened to me. But instead, no, let's call Matt stupid. And instead, let's play the role of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting somehow a different result will eventually happen in the world. Yeah, fucking right. The literal definition of insanity is you people. Only I was able to actually prepare myself for the world to get worse every year. 2020 is the worst year ever. 2019 was the previous bad year. 2018 was the previous bad year, and so on. Anybody who is smart, wise, or older will tell you that every single year of life has been getting worse over the last 70 fucking years. You can ask anybody who's been, ask your grandparents who have been around since 1930 or something. Each decade gets worse and worse as time goes on. But no, people have the mentality of, the future is bright, and as the future comes, so does life get better. Fucking bullshit. And yet when something bad happens, what is your mentality? Oh, well, that sucked. But it'll get better next year. Next year comes, well, that really sucked. But it'll get better next year. The same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. But by all means, keep calling Matt stupid. Keep ignoring Matt. It's not like he's been right over and over and over again. It's not like every single prediction he's ever made has come true. And it's not like all of my comparisons from the past to the present have been 100% fucking accurate. No, not at all. What more do I have to say besides one simple statement? I have a dream. I have a fucking dream that we can go back. We may not be able to go back to a time when we weren't even alive, but I wish I could at the very least go back to the 90s or the early 2000s when life was maybe not per se great, but was at least normal. Not only has the world got progressively worse every single year, but people have become more and more insane. On my channel, I have talked about literally everything, from the justice system to all kinds of world issues and social issues, the government, the mainstream media, Hollywood, literally everything, every topic that you can think of. I have made a video on exposing the truth about every single topic. But in this video, I'm going to focus on just people. Just people. The way people act, talk, behave. The kinds of beliefs people have now compared to the past. It really is too bad that we can't even go back to basic human sanity anymore. Basic human sanity of just living life and talking is dead. It was after probably the 60s that people started to become normal and racism was finally gone. It was around that time when black people were finally getting their liberation. And for the 80s and 90s and early 2000s, everybody just saw each other as what? Equal human beings. But over the past 10 years, equality has dissolved into a bullshit race war with everybody, political divisions, and looking at skin color because of SJWs. Here's how so many things are now compared to how they used to be, just as people. You're considered a sexist if you don't like pedophilia now. You're considered a racist if you think it's bad to label people based on skin color. You're considered racist if you don't label people based on skin color. This only applies to white people, by the way. You're considered transphobic if you think children shouldn't be in drag. You're considered sexist if you claim being obese is unhealthy. You're considered fat-phobic if you're thin and healthy. You're considered transphobic if you think non-binary people shouldn't claim to be trans. You're considered transphobic if you point out that you must have gender dysphoria to be trans. You're considered evil if you put facts over feelings. You're considered fighting racism if you hate white people. You're considered racist if you believe all people, including white people, should be treated equally. You're considered a misogynist if you dare to point out that men face more legal oppression than women. You're considered evil just for having white skin, and it's not considered racist to say that. You're considered a bad person if you don't conform to made-up gender pronouns. It's considered sexist if women in modern day choose to be housewives and actually enjoy taking care of their physical appearance. Sexy in modern day has become women with hairy armpits. It's considered normal to sexualize children, but abnormal to simply allow them to play with toys and be normal children. It's now considered racist to enjoy food or traditions from another culture when this used to be the opposite of racism. You're considered a white supremacist just for saying white people experience racism. It's considered the new normal that journalism is all about lying, manipulation, and fear-mongering, while regular YouTubers are the ones doing the real research now. It's considered normal to suppress all forms of opinions, debates, and free speech in favor of people's personal feelings. You're considered racist if you don't support fake hate crimes just to push a fake political racist narrative. It's considered the new norm that social media can control the flow of information on the internet. We live in a world where male oppressions are being presented as female victimizations. 2/3 of all homeless people are men, but it's advertised as 1 in 3 homeless people are women, and women are the victims somehow. We live in a world where university is supposed to be a place for education, but it's really just another indoctrination system with classes like gender studies. It's no wonder kids are leaving university dumber than when they started. It's considered okay for the media to artificially inflate white criminals and black victims and artificially deflate the numbers on white victims and black criminals. And if you point out this fact, you're called a racist. You're considered smart if you live in a systematic box and believe everything you're told. But if you dare to open your eyes, think critically, and research conspiracy theories, realize that most areas of society are corrupt, like government, Hollywood, mainstream media, and understand the flaws in a two-party system, you're considered stupid just for thinking critically. Let me tell you, it's literally insane to still believe a two-party system is anything besides a pre-planned division of the population, causing hatred of each other while stroking your own dick of the side you agree with. Meanwhile, you don't grasp that either side is corrupt and means nothing in the grand scheme of things. That right there is the key to delusion and insanity in society as a whole, that and religion. The fact that you actually believe that a two-party system is how you create love and care and acceptance of the people around you, when a two-party system was literally designed for the purpose of dividing the people who agree with those two fucking parties. And then of course the delusional, insane belief that following one of those two parties will eventually bring normalcy to society is completely fucking insane. It's created for the purpose of division, and it will continue to divide society more and more and more as time goes on. Life is so much more than a two-party system. It's time to actually let go of the two-party system, be a free thinker, and fight for what is actually genuinely right and not what a political side tells you is right. This that I have just told you is what we have turned into the new normal of society. This is what our normal is now. I have a dream of going back to the 90s or the late 2000s when normal actually was normal. When skin color wasn't the identification of evil or good, but rather just being a fucking person. People now talk about skin color more than they did back in the fucking 1800s, for fuck's sakes. I have a dream that I don't fucking exist in this current generation.